One thing is common among all the children, and that thing is curiosity. I believe curiosity is one of the most important things you require if you really want to become good at that skill. They are always curious about the things around themselves. Hello everyone, welcome to day 12 of Spoken English series where I teach English in context. And today's topic is favorite subject. Even though it looks such a simple question, favorite subject, and we can answer it in a single word. The language, English is my favorite subject, mathematics, science, history, geography. But deep down, we know that we can go in detail and we get to learn a lot about a person just listening to this answer, favorite subject. So, like always, we are going to follow the same pattern. We will start with sentence structures, vocabulary, modern phrases, and the most important part of the video, that is conversational section. I got a complaint from one of my students and she was telling me that, sir, you don't look confident whenever you are talking on a board. So I want you guys to tell me whether I look scared, nervous. See, I'm recording this video in a packed room. I'm sweating. Maybe that's why, but I'm not gonna complain. So to discuss all of these things, again, we will have to go in my room and we will talk about them one by one. Let's go. And before I start talking about my favorite subject, if anyone who is looking for additional help and they want to learn English in one-to-one or group classes, they can send me a message on this number or my email ID. As I mentioned earlier that you can just give the answer in one word. My favorite subject is this. But it tells a lot about your personality, what kind of a person you are, what kind of things you are interested in, what are your strengths, what are your motivation to learn that subject. And if you watch this video till the end, you will learn a lot about sentence formation, vocabulary, and at the end of the video, conversational questions. When I was in high school, my favorite subject was, of course, English. And we also know that English is more of a language than subject. But where I come from, India, Bihar, in our schools, it is taught as a subject. And of course, I was interested in it because I got the appreciation from my teachers. I loved stories and I always paid extra attention to my literature classes. And because of my interest in this language, I was naturally good at some things. But after my college, I'm more into history. Now my interest has changed. I still love this language, but at the same time, I enjoy learning about the history. This is how you can follow the format to talk about it. My favorite subject is English, math, science, history, or computer science. I have always found it fascinating, challenging, enjoyable, or meaningful compared to other subjects in school. Next question. Why do you like it? I like history for various reasons. First of all, it really helps me with my imagination because whenever I am studying history or watching a lecture or reading a book, I always imagine that world, being in that world, how difficult and how fascinating that world was. My interest in reading makes me enjoy reading history also. This is how you can talk about it in a format. I enjoy this subject because it makes me think, helps me express myself, relate to real life, or allows me to be creative. The topics are often interesting, thought provoking, useful, or fun, and I never get bored in the class. Next, how do you study it? Now that I mostly do self study, so I prefer textbooks and also lectures. There are a lot of cool teachers on the internet, especially YouTube, and I really love their lectures. And there is just so many varieties, so many great storytellers. I enjoy reading, and at the same time, I also love watching lectures. This is how you can talk about it. I usually study this subject by reading books, solving problems, doing experiments, or writing essays. I also like to watch educational videos, take notes, discuss with friends, or practice daily to improve. Next, favorite chapter or concept. When it comes to history, I really enjoy studying about the medieval history of India and of the world. Right now, if somebody would ask questions to me about the history of my own country and the world, I won't be able to answer it like the factual wise, but I am really into the storytelling medium. For example, if you are listening to a lecture or if you're watching somebody narrating their story, that's the part which I really enjoy, and especially the medieval India. This is how you can follow this format to talk about the question. One chapter I really liked was about Shakespeare, algebra, human body, world wars, or coding basics. It taught me new vocabulary, logic, how the body works, history's impact, or how to build apps in a way that felt memorable, exciting, deep, or clear. Next, your performance in the subject. Well, I don't have to give any exams right now, so I don't really evaluate my marks, but I do go on some different applications to give some mock tests. But unfortunately, because of my monkey brain, I'm not able to gather a lot of facts. So, yeah, I always score badly, but when it comes to writing and narrating stories, I would give 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. This is how you can talk about it in a format. I usually get good grades, top marks, above average scores, or encouraging feedbacks. My teachers say that I am creative, analytical, focused, or enthusiastic in this subject. This format is basically for students who are in college or school. Next, how it helps in real life or future. In my case, I love storytelling, so it's definitely helping me the way I narrate my ideas. And obviously, in future, if I continue on the path of teaching, then definitely one day I would love to teach history to my students. And this is how you can follow the format to talk about it. This subject helps me with communication, problem solving, critical thinking, storytelling, or technical skills. I believe it will be useful if I become a writer, engineer, doctor, teacher, or researcher in the future. So, guys, this was our format of my favorite subject. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you can just answer it in one word, but just imagine answering it in this format, having a conversation, how much it will help you with your practice, and what kind of impression you are going to have on the second person. Now, let's move on to our next segment, that is modern phrases. And all these phrases are related to your favorite subjects. First, it just clicks for me. When you are able to understand something naturally, there you can use this phrase, it just clicks for me. Second, right up my alley. It literally means something close to your street, but here metaphorically it means that something which you are naturally good at. Third, I am wired for it. Again, naturally good at it. I thrive in this subject. You love studying this subject, it is fun. There you can use I thrive in this subject. Not just marks, but meaning. It means when you are studying a subject, not just for scoring marks, but to understand the concept and to learn it. Next, it keeps my brain alive. Again, you enjoy studying the subject. For me, studying history keeps my brain alive. Next, makes me lose track of time. It simply means you are not able to track the time. Time passes quickly, you enjoy the process. Next, my comfort zone and challenge at once. Again, you enjoy studying it, but at the same time, there are challenges while studying this subject. A subject that speaks to me, something which you are able to understand naturally and enjoy learning it. The highlight of my school days. You can use the last phrase to talk about a school subject where you scored a lot and you were naturally good. Next segment is vocabulary, and I'll just read it for you. Your job is to, of course, make sentences, and if you don't know the meaning, search for the words or you can just write down in the comment section. Curiosity, analytical, grasp, subject, concept, communicate, express, relevant, explore, chapter, interpretation, reflect, application, explanation, imaginative, clarity, technique, evaluate, revision, and challenge. Next segment is adjectives, and these adjectives are used to describe your favorite subject. I'll just read it for you, and again, your job is to make sentences. Interesting, tough, deep, relatable, expressive, logical, engaging, meaningful, enjoyable, practical, creative, thought provoking, inspiring, fulfilling, simple, exciting, structured, complex, useful, and fun. Now let's move on to the most important segment of the video, that is conversational questions. And here I ask questions to myself and I answer them myself. The first question is, which subject makes you feel excited to attend class? Well, I'm not in college, but when I was in high school, I always loved studying English, and that was something which I always looked forward to. Next, how do you usually prepare for this subject? I'm a student of English literature, so I have to read a lot of text, and I do that. And not just reading, I have to study them in detail. And for that, I take help of internet, chat GPT, and of course, YouTube. Next, do you prefer reading, writing, or solving in your favorite subject? I prefer reading and writing because when I read, I'm able to understand the concept clear, and when it comes to writing, I'm able to analyze my mistakes and which area I need to improve. Next, how do you stay motivated to improve in this subject? The first motivation is that I have to make a living out of this language, so that's the first motivation. And second, the stories. There are just so many stories in the world that no matter how many literature books you are going to read, there is always going to be a better one. There is always going to be a text that is going to make you think a lot. Next, is there a teacher who inspired your interest in it? Well, when I was in high school, my teacher really appreciated me whenever I did good in the subject. So, of course, she motivated me a lot, and I still remember how she made me feel. Next, what's one thing you learned recently in that subject? Talking about English literature, I am always learning new things, and recently I learned a lot about the writer William Shakespeare, and I'm studying his drama. So yeah, there is always a lot to learn, and I'm trying to analyze his writing, the kind of symbolism, humor, and all the literary devices he has used in his writing. I'm trying to study his writing. Next, how do you revise when exams are near? Well, I actually started this video talking about history, but now I'm answering all the questions related to English literature because this is the subject which I have to study for my exams. Before exam or throughout the year, I keep on maintaining a note. I write down things, I practice, and that's how I'm able to retain all the information. Next, would you consider making a career related to this subject? I mean, I'm planning to do masters in English literature, so do I have any choice? I guess I have, but yeah, I love teaching and especially literature, and I'm already training students to speak English. Next, do you like it learning in class or studying it alone more? Well, I haven't attended many classes apart from my high school. I was in a college where I didn't have to attend classes. So, yeah, I would love to attend classes because that's where you are able to engage, that's where you are able to learn from a professor or a teacher. But, yeah, there is a lot of liberty and freedom while self studying. So, I'm not complaining. I do enjoy that. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there are so many cool teachers on the internet, be it history, English, or any subject. You just have to find somebody whom you enjoy listening to. Next, what is the most challenging topic you have come across in it? You know what? I did mention that I love history, but again, when it comes to remembering facts, I'm not able to retain a lot of information. So, in the first year of my college, I really struggled to remember dates of English literature, history. So, remembering facts, the actual facts, is really challenging for me. I guess that's it for the question series. I leave the rest of the 10 questions here. And guys, I would really appreciate if you leave your feedback. It takes a lot of time to create these notes and to record these videos. Getting feedback from you guys really means a lot to me. So please leave a comment. And again, I'm going to mention if anyone who is looking for additional help and they want to learn English, they can send me a message on this number. And do share this video with your friends and subscribe for more videos. And I'll see you very soon.